Hey guys, Twinstinct here and welcome back to another video. So today I've got a really cool video for you featuring my double debuff team. Now I've wanted to make this team since like season 6. I just had an idea come into my head and I just wanted to go for it. So I've got Articuno on the lead with that Icy Wind debuff, Suicune as a safe switch with that Bubblebeam. But let me tell you guys, it's really strong. It just drags matches out insanely long. But most importantly, it gets plenty of wins. And when you're in ace rank and you're trying to get higher, that is very important, as we all know. So I am still taking battle submissions, guys. It'd be awesome to get some Ultra League battles on the channel. If anyone wants to send some across, there is a link in the description to the battle submission form. So please do, if you have a team at the moment that you're really impressed with, I'd be more than happy to showcase that on the channel. So as always guys, please do smash that subscribe button, give the video a like if you wish to do so. That would be absolutely awesome and mean the world to me. Let's jump straight into these battles.
Okay guys, moving straight into the first matchup here against an ace rank. So excited to showcase this team. It's so good. So we get a really positive lead here in Giratina. Articuno versus Giratina is just standard really. We get a lot of Giratina leads and Articuno is more than capable with the Icy Wind debuff of taking care of these comfortably. So look at the damage that does straight away on the Giratina. Does so much, and to get a good debuff. My Articuno is actually purified as well, so got a bit of extra bulk, which is always handy in Open Ultra League. It is a close match, but then we've already got a Hurricane ready for the armoured Mewtwo that's just come in. Does a nice chunk of damage there, and then we can switch into Suicune to start going to work, and we get a debuff off, but they switch into Scizor. We get the debuff off on the Scizor instead, which is no problem. Unfortunately, we can't get to another debuff in Bubblebeam before they get to their first Night Slash, which barely does any health. Suicune purified as well for that extra bulk. This is a team I've wanted to put together for so long, and now I've finally done it. I'm so happy with it. So the Scizor's just throwing moves at us. They won't shield because they're probably not expecting an Ice Beam. Not very effective. It does a nice chunk. And we can go for another Bubblebeam, which hopefully almost take out the Scizor. But they've switched back into the Mewtwo. A good switch there from the opponent. And unfortunately we can't quite get to another Bubblebeam. That takes us out there, but we have a Alolan Muck in the back with a massive shield advantage. I'll throw up the shield first time. And we can just go for a full farm down on this Mewtwo. Going to take a couple of charge moves here, but no problem at all, doesn't do much. And then we can go for a full farm down that Mewtwo. We've got 2 charge moves ready for the Scizor to start putting on massive shield pressure here, and the opponent knows they're beaten there and just backs out. Very good match there, well played to that opponent in the first game. So moving into the next match against another ace rank, we have got Articuno on the lead against another Giratina. Like I said, so popular, the Giratina lead, and a similar team with the Scizor coming in straight afterwards. Almost a mirror of the last match. So we get the debuff down on the Scizor, then switch into Suicune. Look at that Night Slash, does absolutely no damage. And then we're going to go for another debuff here with a Bubblebeam. Just get as many debuffs off as possible. As I say, it charges so fast. Bubblebeam is such a fast charging move. And you've got the Icy Wind on Articuno, which also debuffs the attack. So it's sort of an advanced strategy I come up with here. Just to debuff the hell out of the opponents and then just go for the power move after a couple of debuffs. So another Night Slash coming through. Are we going to be able to farm down? We can. We have 2 Bubblebeams stored and a Blaziken coming in. This is what we like to see. We get a shield there from a Bubblebeam. That is lovely. We're going to put on massive shield pressure here. Look at the Bubblebeam doing damage there. They've taken our energy. Now Giratina coming in. They go for the Dragon Claw. We charge up enough energy there for an Ice Beam, and switch back into Articuno to lock against this Giratina. Fire off the Icy Wind, put massive shield pressure on here, and we do get the shield off the opponent there. I won't be throwing up the shield because they are debuffed. Can we get to the Icy Wind in time? We can't, unfortunately. So I do risk it here, let the Articuno go down. And we can come in with Muck, try and go for a farm down, but they've got a lot of energy stored up. But they are debuffed as well, so not doing too much damage to us. No need to shield any of this, because we just want to try and get a farm down, but this Giratina is so spammy we might be forced to shield shortly. I'm going to have to throw some energy here, or else we're going to get hit with another charge move. And then the Blaziken coming in, we've got the Dark Pulse ready to go. And then we can switch straight into Suicune, fire off the Bubble Beam. And that runs the clock down there. Very close match, well played to that opponent, very exciting game there. As you can see with the debuffs, it really does run the clock down, and you do actually win quite a few battles from just the clock timing out, to be honest. Because Icy Wind and Bubblebeam are not hard hitting moves, but they just debuff the opponent's attack so much you can just run down the clock and really put some pressure on that way instead of using power moves. So this person switched into a Heatran, very spicy pick there, but we've got Suicune in the back. We can start firing off these Bubble Beams, and look at the damage that does. Bubble Beam is such a weak move, but it does a nice chunk on the Heatran. They've got Stone Edge, which is a hard hitting move, and it barely scratched Suicune there because of the debuffs, as we also hit it with an Icy Wind from the Articuno, if you remember before. So that's probably double or triple debuff now. Look at the Stone Edge, is not doing anything to us. We can farm a bit of extra energy and then fire off the Bubble Beam. And we undercharge there and get an extra Snarl in, so we've almost got a Bubble Beam stored for the Milotic coming in. As we know, Milotic is a water type, Bubble Beam won't do any damage, but we want that debuff, guys. Give us a better chance against this Milotic for our next Pokemon coming in. Can we get another debuff? Triple debuff on the Milotic, that is insane. Suicune's actually chipped away quite a nice portion of the health on the Milotic as well. Oh, it's a Blizzard, look at the damage, that does nothing to Muck. And now they're going to switch out into Venusaur, but we're going to go into Articuno, and the Venusaur is in trouble here. We have to avoid that Sludge Bomb. We will fire off the Icy Wind here. And we do get a shield off the opponent there, which is good for us. Unfortunately, they're going to get to a charge move there, but they are debuffed, which is always handy. The Sludge Bomb doesn't do too much. Nicely debuffed there. The Milotic coming back in has a charge move stored. Unfortunately, that doesn't quite take us out. We can get to the Icy Wind to start debuffing again. Doesn't do too much. Then we can come in with Muck. We've got a Dark Pulse ready to go. We should be getting the last shield off the opponent, and we just need one more Dark Pulse. Unfortunately, the opponent gets to a charge move. Will a Surf be enough to take us out? Nowhere near. We can charge up to the Dark Pulse, and that should be another good game there. Well played to that opponent, and the clock ran out again. See, the debuff really does run the clock down, and yeah, like I said last time, you can win a lot of matches just by running the clock down. Sort of some annoying advanced strategy, I suppose. So, Giratina again, absolutely everywhere, guys. Giratina is so popular. I think about 30% of teams use Giratina or something, so always good to have at least one counter for it in your team. And it's so spammy as well. Even debuffed, it still gives Articuno a run for its money. If you don't have a counter for it and you come up against it, you're probably in trouble. So see, that's a debuff Giratina. It's almost taken my purified Articuno with that extra bulk down. So, and another player with a Heatran, interesting. So we can get a double debuff down on this Heatran, and then come in with Suicune. We know we've got a ready-made counter in the back for this Heatran. They're throwing their energy. Oh, it's a flamethrower, does absolutely nothing. Double debuffed. And now we've got back-to-back Bubble Beam stored up for this Heatran. It's not going to like this. Look at the damage. They've been debuffed again. And now we can charge up to over 2 Bubble Beams and just start firing these off. Undercharge again. Unfortunately, I didn't quite take it out there. We're going to get hit with another charge move, but it's doing absolutely nothing now. This is if you get up against the right opponents, this team is absolutely insane. So now we're going to go to work. We've farmed down that Heatran, and now they've got a Feraligatr in the back. As you can see, Bubble Beam is doing absolutely no damage, but triple debuff. And we can come in with Muck. The opponent is going to have a lot of charge moves stored because they farmed up loads of energy, but we've got shields still. We can throw up the shields, and we know that we farmed up plenty of energy now, and the Feraligatr is going to be under some serious pressure now to fire off those charge moves. We know all we need is back-to-back Dark Pulse, so if we can survive this, which I'm pretty sure does absolutely nothing because of the debuffs, and now all we need is back-to-back Dark Pulse, and we can get there. And the clock was just about to run out again, if you noticed there. And there we go again. So this team is crazy. I cannot tell you how good it is. Like, just puts so much pressure on opponents just because they're looking at that clock thinking it's going to run out in a minute and I'm behind. So again, look, another Giratina, and they switch straight into a Blaziken, so we've got a ready-made counter there, switching into Suicune. We know they can't hurt us with a Blaze Kick, does absolutely no damage, and then let's start going to work with these debuffs again. It is almost unfair, the double debuff team, like, it's so painful. Like, I've had teams against me before using just one debuff Pokemon. It's so frustrating, just getting debuff after debuff, but you know, if it works, like we're proving here, these Pokemon aren't really hard hitting Pokemon, it's just the amount of debuffs the opponent is coming up against. It just puts so much pressure on. Spammy as well, especially Suicune, so spammy with those Bubble Beams. And as Giratina is everywhere, Icy Wind does such good damage. And we're going to get another Icy Wind off here. And we do get the shield off the opponent there. We won't be shielding. Hopefully we can get a farm down in here. I'm not sure if we'll make it. Not quite. So close. I'm actually going to throw up the shield here. Method to my madness, because we can get an Icy Wind off on the next opponent. Poliwrath. Icy Wind won't do a lot, guys, but we want that debuff. So we can now come in with Suicune, get double debuff off with the Bubble Beam. Another attack's going to take us out. We take the energy off the Poliwrath, and then come in with the Muck. Obviously no one has any shields, and they caught the charge move there on the Blaziken, which is very, very nice play from the opponent, reading what we were going to do there. And now the Poliwrath coming back in with charged up energy. It's got no debuffs on it, and I couldn't quite get to the Dark Pulse there, which probably saved me, because the opponent throws an Ice Punch, which I couldn't believe, and that gives me an extra one to get to the Sludge Wave. And that almost takes out the Poliwrath. I switch into Articuno and Ice Shard down the Poliwrath, and that's another good battle there. Well played to that opponent. Moving into the last matchup of this video, guys. Sorry it's so long, but I just wanted to give a really good showcase of this team because I thought it was so good, and I'm really, really pleased with how it's come out. So we came into a Togekiss there, which was a favourable matchup. So we want our Articuno aligned against that with stored energy. Now we'll bring in the Suicune against the Swampert and go to work with these debuffs. Swampert, another Pokemon that's absolutely everywhere, and Suicune deals with it really, really well. See those Hydro Cannons, debuffed Hydro Cannons, not doing too much to Suicune. See, this is another tactic you can use. Go for a couple of debuffs, and then the opponent's expecting another one because it's so fast. And then you hit them with the Ice Beam, almost takes out, it actually does take out the Swampert, and then they bring in the Togekiss. We've got the Icy Wind stored on the Articuno, so we can come straight in with that, get a debuff down on the Togekiss and go to work. We get to another Icy Wind. We know how long Togekiss takes to charge, and we've still got 2 shields, and the opponent is debuffed, badly debuffed, and we should be able to get a full farm down here on the Togekiss, which we do. That is absolutely insane. And the Swampert's coming in. I didn't realise the Swampert had so much energy here, so I was going to try and farm down the Swampert as well, but that is a mistake. I should have thrown the energy. But now the Swampert shouldn't have any energy left. Come in with Suicune. I'd fire off the Bubble Beam, just not wanting to get hit with another charge move. I do make a few mistakes in this last battle, which I should point out. I shouldn't have shielded against that Swampert. I shouldn't have thrown the Bubble Beam against the Swampert. And yeah, but it still turns out okay because this team is just absolutely insane. So you can make a couple of mistakes, guys, and still come out on top, which is just absolutely insane, to be honest. Like most teams don't give you a lot of room for error, but because you've got the debuffs in this team, you can always come back from a bad start, which happens quite often. So it's always nice to have that option to be able to come back from a bad start. So now we can go for the hard hitting Sludge Wave. We are debuffed twice, but Sludge Wave almost enough, and we can take down the Articuno with 1 Snarl. So that is it from me, guys. Thank you so much for coming to check out this content. If you've made it to the end of this long video, you're absolutely amazing, and yeah, thank you so much for that. So yeah, double debuff team, a team I've wanted to build it for so long. I'm so glad that I finally got to do it. It really works so well. As you can see, you can run the clock down, and yeah, it's just absolutely insane. Please do give this a go. If you've got the resources to build it, you will not be disappointed. I just wanted to make quite a long video on this to showcase how good it really is. Even if you're having a bad match, you can still run the clock down with those debuffs. Something you can use that's a bit unorthodox and different. So yeah, battle submissions, guys, I'm still taking those, so it'd be awesome to get some Ultra League battles on. Down in the description there is a link to the battle submission form. If you've got any awesome sets or quality teams you've been using that you really enjoy and you want them showcased on the channel, that would be absolutely awesome, and I'm happy to do that. So, and as always, please do smash the subscribe button, give the video a like if you wish to do so. That would mean the world to me, and I'll see you in the next one.